So this is it. This is my top.
This is number one.
This is my top.
I'm excited to hear number one.
I don't think you'll be surprised, though. Because it is AllStar Superman.
Okay, alright.
Yeah. I bet you were going through the list going, he hasn't said AllStar Superman yet, so unless
I was like,
bumped it,
is he really going to put two Morrisons on the list?
I can't help it. I can't help it because, like, AllStar Superman, and this is a lot of the same reasons with Death of Spider-Man that I also love this, and it's interesting, too. My two top books are two final books because AllStar Superman is a Death of Superman story.
Pretty much, yep.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
First issue, Lex Luthor dekes out Superman to get too close to the sun, supercharge his cells, and actually now begin to kill them. Because they're so supercharged that they're now burning out. So Superman has got a finite amount of time left on this Earth. So what does he do? He spends the entire time trying to make sure that the Earth is better off, like better than it was when he was there, so that he can die, and it's just one issue after another of different offshoot versions of Superman. So like in one issue, there's Apollo and Hercules, and he's actually like engaging in a like friendly sort, well not friendly, but like they're all flirting with Lois Lane, and Superman's got to be like, hey, like what the fuck, guys, like lay off, I hate you guys are assholes. Just like something as simple as that. Jimmy Olsen becomes Doomsday to fight Superman, who's got infected by black kryptonite. So now he's a prick. Now he's the opposite. The worse things he does, the better he gets. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the whole 12-issue run. It's like the 12 labors. The theory behind it is the 12 labors is Hercules, well, the 12 labors is Superman, right? And there's 12 labors all the way through. Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely is probably one of my favorite teams of all time.
Quitely did the whole run, right? There's no
whole
fillers?
Run. There's no fillers.
Nice. He's such a good artist.
He's so good, but he's like one of those guys where if you would have said, hey, Frank Quitely would be one of your favorite Superman artists, I would have said, no. The guy that did all those extra super wrinkles on X-Men? I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to think he's that great.
Yeah.
And then you look at it, and the Superman, it's a classic run in terms of his appearance, but he had, like, Clark Kent hunch over, he had Clark Kent bumble and fall around, but every time he did it, he was doing things like in a way where it was actually helping people without them noticing. As an example, when Clark Kent is going to interview Lex Luthor in the Supermax prison, at one point, Clark Kent trips over like a cord because the cord is broken and there's a puddle of water that no one else sees but him. So he looks like an idiot, but he saved everyone in that room. Just something as simple as that, where you're just like, so Quitely's drawing this, but this is Morrison. Morrison's like, but yeah, like this guy would be, even like the cover where Superman's sitting on the cloud and he's just kind of relaxed.
That's a great cover. That's such a great cover.
He actually said, like, in the Fat Man on Batman, he's just like, they were at a Comic-Con or something, and they ran into a guy dressed up as Superman, and he was just casually, like, on a park bench with his foot up, just kind of super relaxed, and he's sitting there going, like, that would be Superman. He would be super relaxed because, I mean, he's Superman.
Yeah.
Really? Who's going to fucking hurt him? He doesn't have to be afraid of anybody. There's no tension in this guy because he's Superman. And I was like, man, that's a great take. And like I said with Brian Bendis understanding Peter Parker so much, for like admittedly a Batman guy, or even just darker characters in general, because the X-Men aren't exactly happy-go-lucky. I don't care what anyone wants to say. That could be a pretty dark run. For him to get Superman so well, again, the same thing. This is a guy that just wants to help.
Yeah. He
was raised by two good people just to do the right thing, and that's all he wants to do. And he spends the entire 12 issues helping everybody. There's a part, I believe it's a halfway point, where two long-lost Kryptonian explorers show up on Earth. Okay? Superman was on Bizarro Earth with Zabaro, the smartest guy in Bizarro World, and he's another Superman offshoot, and he wants to go with Superman, but Superman can't take him. He's only got enough for himself. But in his absence, these two Kryptonians, a husband and wife duo, show up, and they start essentially trying to, like, they're about to rule Earth. And Superman shows up and goes, hey, guys, like, I'm so happy to see you. You guys were, like, I remember you from old Kryptonian teachings. He shows them his Fortress of Solitude, and they're just kind of like, Jor-El's son? Oh, the scientist? Yeah, sorry, buddy. We're gonna do whatever the fuck we want. We're not gonna do what you do. And, you know, and at one point, like, Superman just starts to do this. He's like, you're puffing your chest out at me. And they beat the shit out of Superman. They beat the shit out of Superman, but what happens is when they came into Earth's atmosphere, there was a stray, like, dust of Kryptonian things. Like, so they start losing their powers. So even though they were about to kill Superman, they were about to destroy the Earth, remake it in their own vision, right? Superman helps them, and that's what turns them. The guy literally goes like, you're helping us, and we were about to kill you. And Superman's just like, man, don't worry about it. And, you know, it's just little things like that where you're like, he would be like that. He would just literally get his ass kicked and be like, no, we have to save him. We can't let them die. And they'd just be like, I don't understand you. I can't believe you would show me this kind of courtesy. And then they end up being Phantom Zone enforcers because, you know, he can't find a cure for them. Hell, at one point he actually pleads with Lex Luthor. He's like, look, you don't have to do this. You could take all this, like, all your brains and just be better than Superman. And, you know, this is in the episode but the issue where Clark Kent is interviewing Lex Luthor, but he's just like, you don't have to do this. Like, you're gonna die just to stick it to Superman, and it's just, man, like, I can't get over how great this book is. And then, like, he literally sacrifices himself to fix the sun to save everybody. You know? One of the first things I said to my wife when I told her that I loved her, I actually paraphrased the line, because he says, I love you, Lois Lane, until forever. And I paraphrased it because I forgot how it said, and I actually said, like, I love you, Michelle, from now until forever, because I thought that was a line. But that's how much this book hit me. The scene where there's a woman who's going to jump off a building. She's going to jump off a building. She's calling her therapist, and she's saying, like, this is it. It's over. And the therapist is in the middle of a giant monster, like a robot, attacking the city. Superman's stopping the monster robot. Hears the phone call because he's Superman. When he's done, flies away and says, hey, look, you know, it's it's never as bad as it seems. You're stronger than you think you are. Trust me. She doesn't jump because of that. They hug. It's beautiful. JMS did that Superman run. He did a similar thing in his run.
Where he was walking across America.
Oh, it's garbage.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so bad.
Was it? It didn't have an ending either, correct?
It did.
It did? I thought he left that one.
It had a weirdo ending. It was really bad. I know what they were trying to do, but they actually had like so what Morrison did in 2 panels, they tried to do in like 5 pages, and it totally missed the mark. Literally. It's never as bad as it seems. You're stronger than you think you are. I can barely say those 2 lines without just, like, feeling like I'm going to get choked up because it's so beautiful. And you think, like, it's crazy that he beats the shit out of this giant robot thing, but here's the call, goes over to stop her from killing herself. I mean, fuck. Morrison, like, if he was writing Superman, I would read it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know? Even if Quietly wasn't drawing it the whole time, I'd still be reading it because, like, when he gets comic book characters, he gets them.
He gets DC for sure.
He gets, like, Superman, he gets Batman,
yeah.
He gets the Justice League.
Yeah. There's creators that are better served to one company.
Yes.
And I can honestly say that if we were both comic writers, you could do DC way better than I could, and I could probably do that Marvel better than you could.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's how we grew up.
Although with Marvel, it would depend on the character.
It would depend on the character.
Yeah.
Same with DC for me. I mean, there's a couple I could probably do, but I mean,
yeah,
it'd be like a Morrison going over for X-Men. Like, I'd be like, yeah, I'll do a 12-issue Batman, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
as far as comic writers go, Morrison is, admittedly, even on this list, one of my favorites. It's one of my all-time favorites.
You gonna read The Green Lantern?
Hell yeah.
I'm a little disappointed that Quietly isn't doing the art on that.
I know, like Liam Sharp is is actually a very solid artist.
I did not like the cover that he did. It was like the body and everything.
He's a good artist. I just don't feel like it's a good fit with that book.
I put it on hold though, and
I am definitely going to read it.
The variant cover, DC does variant covers every month now. They're like 50-50 covers.
Of course.
You pick which artist you like.
Oh, okay.
So Frank Whitley's doing the variant. So I'm like Gary Holman the variant.
Yeah, like I can't get over everything about AllStar Superman, and I remember you weren't a big fan of it, but like every single issue.
I only tried the first issue though.
Every single issue of that is a love letter to Superman of some period in his run, like in I'm not like in Morrison's run, but in just Superman's run, because there's Silver Age aspects, there's Golden Age aspects, there's, I mean, like, I've said this before every time we talk about Man of Steel and how I feel like killing or having a tornado kill Pa Kent robs Superman of a life lesson. Morrison actually has it where Superman is over here fighting the Chronovore. That's right, the Chronovore eats time. And
I like it.
Because he's over here, he doesn't hear his dad having a heart attack, and then once the fighting is done, he goes, I can't hear my dad's heartbeat. And it's just like, it's crushing. Because he's a young guy too, like he's on the cusp of going to like Metropolis, and then he loses his dad, and it's that life lesson because, you know, he can't do everything, even though at that point he thought, I can do everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fucking Superman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bulletproof. I'm faster than a speeding bullet. I can stop locomotives. You know, I can I can fly into space. What can't I do? Can't save his dad because he's over here. Can't be in two places at once. It's just like, oh my god. And it's so crazy. And they did that too with the Jeff Johns and his Brainiac run. They had a similar thing.
That Brainiac run was awesome.
Oh, that almost
that
made
was
the
a
list.
good run.
That really was hard for me not to
really
put that on the
run.
list. You know what bumped it? Honestly, Amazing Spider-Man 500.
That's amazing. No pun intended.
Hey-o!
That one issue bumped a run.
Yeah, but I mean, we might look at this a year from now, and I might say, actually, I'm sorry, but like the Jeff Johns Brainiac run is just that much better. You know, because it is Gary Frank doing the art.
I mean, that's why I threw 5 honorable mentions on mine. Like, it's like I love these 5 the most, but these 5 have to be talked.
You know what? Kind of the reason, and it's always it always kind of bugs me. Even though I love Gary Frank Superman, you don't have to make him look like Christopher Reeves.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love Christopher Reeves.
Spot on Christopher Reeves.
I love Christopher. All it is Christopher Reeves, but he's a bit bulkier.
Yep.
That's it.
The face is identical.
Face is identical. And I mean, like, I love Christopher Reeves. I mean, that's the childhood Superman I grew up with. But, like, Quietly's Superman is his own beast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. And their animated movie was also really good. So good. There was, like, I mean, they cut out a bunch.
I enjoyed the animated movie.
The animated
to the
movie
point
was
where it's
so
like,
good.
maybe I should read the run, and I still haven't read the run.
It's so good. It's just, like, yeah, sure, they cut out some parts. Thing they cut out, the one they cut out is that 2-parter where, you know, it's never as bad as it seems. You know? I would have, like, fell in love with that movie if they had that.
They should remake it.
They should.
Because now, DC with animated films are not afraid. Like, they tried the R rating on the Killing Joke.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
And now they're doing this 2-part with Death of Superman.
Yeah.
And they're, like, did you watch part 1?
Oh, I watched part 1.
It's friggin' bloody, man.
First chance I got, I accidentally found
bloody.
it online.
Like, I was like, holy shit, this is bloody.
Yeah. Like, we talked about how the original Death of Superman, there was blood in it.
Mm-hmm.
But this one's really close to the comics.
Yeah. It was damn
so
good.
Much so that I was like, when I saw the Justice League there, I was worried because I was like, well, I mean, he really fucked up the Justice League.
Oh, yeah.
But granted, this was like Booster Gold, Blue Beetle,
yeah,
Bloodwind.
Guys, who cares?
Hold on. Bloodwind, okay? And the wind is spelled W-Y-N.
Of course it is.
Yeah, that's right.
Should have been a 90s Image character.
I'm not sure what his power was. If I were to guess, he would be conjuring up winds of blood. Not sure how that would even... How would you make the team? Like, how would you make the Justice League? And the costume, he's a black dude, fine. But his costume's bright white with, like, a V-neck. I think what it was a amnesiac Martian Manhunter. I think that's what the character was. I can't remember exactly, but Maxima was there as well. So yeah, so they all got fucked up pretty hard by Doomsday. But yeah, I mean overall it was great. Like I said, the only thing I didn't like about it was Rainn Wilson. I love Dwight Schrute, but his Luthor was weird.
It was. I was like, I know that voice. Who is this? And then I found it was Rainn Wilson. I was like, what a weird choice for Lex Luthor. Who said let's get Dwight Schrute to be Lex Luthor?
Okay, but like if his Luthor was more like Dwight Schrute, it wouldn't have been so bad.
No.
But then when he did the hysterics and stuff like that, then it was like, what the fuck's going on here? Yeah. You know, my only real complaint, like I said before, was the fact that it was the New 52 suit.
With the collar and everything?
Yeah, and I like the suit. It's just,
yeah.
It was a nice change of pace, but, you know, we're getting back to everyone wearing trunks again, like Batman is back to...
I know.
He's back to wearing trunks.
I roll.
I couldn't believe it.
They finally got away with it, and then they go back to it.
And I don't know why. I have no idea why they did it.
So ridiculous.
Superman, as soon as Superman did it, I was like, okay, well, Batman's next.
Yeah, Batman's next.
But
at least Wonder Woman's keeping her friggin' medieval attire and not going back to the starred swimsuit.
Yeah, the swimsuit. Deodato thonged the shit out of that one. Like, right up high. Oh, yeah. It's like, good God.
Let's go fight some crime.
I look back at that and I go, like, I just picture, like, some of these costume crime fighters gonna be like, I'm gonna get a huge wedgie because I have to do a bunch of backflips fighting this guy.
Oh, well.
Guess I should have wore pants, but why would I do that? Why would I wear pants? I'm a superhero.
Yeah.
I don't need to wear pants. Superman's fully clothed from head to toe, but Wonder Woman has to wear a bathing suit.
Makes sense. I wonder if she doesn't feel like shaving that week.
Yeah. She has to.
That would actually be a really funny story to come.
That would be really funny. Like Batman just
your hair is lit.
That would be Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner would be the guy that'd be like, hey, Wonder Woman didn't shave her armpits. And then Batman has to be like, shut the fuck up, guy. She can hear you.
Well, that is a really good top 5.
So that is my top 5, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you thought about my top 5. Hell, I'll be interested to find out what your top 5 was. If you don't have a top 5, I'll even take your top 2. Okay?